in the squadron. They called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. And I can also look at Benjamin Netanyahu and see the way that he has orchestrated this genocide and also deem him to similarly be a war criminal. And of course, my belief in a universality in international law is also the same set of beliefs that have led me to describe what's happening in Gaza as a genocide. I've spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide, and I've spoken about our government funding it.
In AIPAC, for whom the only thing more frightening than democracy being allowed to run its course is an end to genocide and Netanyahu's wars.
This fake accusation of genocide and bitching and moaning about Israel has been happening for a very long time. But now we have a punk mayor who can spend, all of his time bitching and moaning about it himself. With the attention of the world's media on him, and his words are having a devastating effect. All right, Jews are being targeted on the streets of New York City like I don't think we've ever seen this before, ever. Not in New York, not in America. We haven't seen this kind of crap. And you see that stuff on the Upper West Side? A maniac Muslim Islamic extremist stabbing Jewish people for being Jewish. Allahu Akbar and all those phrases that we know from 9/11. And this is a very dark and strange time. I never thought it would happen. Growing up in the suburbs, I knew, we all knew. The Holocaust was real. It happened. How many TV movies did I watch? And I remember being a ninth grader going to Dachau. We went on a great big European vacation, my family did. And we went to France and Austria and Belgium and Germany. And I remember walking through Dachau. How could this ever have happened? Eisenhower, 40, 50 years earlier, said the same thing. How could this ever have happened? Man's inhumanity to man. And we will never, ever, ever let it happen again. Well, here it is happening. He's shooting his mouth off about the kinds of things that make people do these horrible anti-Jewish acts. Everybody else is being all polite. Very few people, publicly are showing the outrage that needs to be shown. There are some great leaders in the Jewish community. We got Sid Rosenberg, but too many people are keeping their mouths shut and just kind of going along with it. And they can't slap around this guy. Verbally, of course. Verbally, metaphorically, whatever. Beat him about the face and breast, chest, neck, and head. Rhetorically, something. You can't let this guy get away with it. And, oh, by the way, the city is going to pot. The city is going to pot. There's a real job to be done when you're mayor, right? Ask Bloomberg. Ask Giuliani. Ask these men, these giants who held that job. And now we have a pissant, right? A radical, spoiled brat kid. And when you're radical, when you have all these crazy ideas, it's a luxury. It's a luxury. If you're worried about kind of making your way in the world and surviving and getting through things, right? You don't have time for any of this crap. You don't have time. It's like an indulgence. But he had all the time in the world. Spoiled little rich kid, interning for his mom, becoming a state lawmaker, part-time job, and getting turned on by socialism. And getting turned on by who knows what else. I've been hearing some rumors about this guy and what he is into. Oh, boy. I know somebody was working on a story about what happens when and I don't know when they call it, when the sun goes down, what the hell's going down in Gracie Mansion. I remember the rumor that Bill de Blasio was smoking weed, which he was, by the way. But that's nothing compared to what Mamdani might be up to. All right, we won't say anything until we iron it out. But this guy is, let's just say he has a few hobbies. Okay, let's see. Are you happy? Are you satisfied for all the people running around thinking it's stylish to vote for Mamdani and to pick up his causes? Listen to this. Cut 3, please. Cut 3.
We
genocide. Yeah, we're going to have more of this because Mamdani himself, hey, that was the gay pride parade. There are also no gay people in Gaza, no openly gay people. Why isn't that ever mentioned? There are no openly gay people in Mamdani's native Uganda, the place he brags about going on vacation. He has a lot of allegiance and loyalty to Uganda. That's a place I think best to be avoided, especially given their bigotry. I think you can be put to death for being gay. Did you know that? So there are no gay people in this radical Islamic culture, Hamas and that kind of stuff. They throw you off of a roof. Why isn't he challenged on any of that stuff? What about that agenda of the radical Islamists? That never seems to come up. Well, we have a dopey 24-year-old kind of boys and girls in the local press who are in awe of this guy, and they kind of like him. I can't believe he's encouraged people to come out and protest Netanyahu when he's here for the General Assembly. You know what a pain in the neck these protests are for the cops? Cops don't need any more protesters. You know, did he say peacefully and patriotically like President Trump did? Peacefully and patriotically? And there was a mission there. I mean, there was like, we were talking about a specific issue on a specific day, and they're just telling them to turn up and yell and shout their heads off at Netanyahu, who's already one of the most targeted people in the entire world. Him and Trump, maybe. Wow, it's a dark situation. We're going to get our friend Dov Heikind and some others. This is a full-on crisis. What do we do? I think we might be looking for help from the Trump Department of Justice. The Department of Justice has something called the Civil Rights Division. Harmy Dillon is the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. That is a big job. It's been around for a long time. And they stick up for people who are being hassled because of their beliefs, because of their skin color, whether it's black, white, red, brown. Speaking of being harassed for your skin color, anybody following this situation with Shiloh Hendricks is her name. Shiloh. Look, she's a regular person. I think this was in Cleveland or someplace like that. She's with her kid at a playground. A kid's like 3 or 4 years old. And some guy starts harassing her with a camera and following her around, accusing her of not being a good mom. And she happens to be white. The guy who's harassing her, I don't know what he is, but I think he's from overseas, and I think he might be a person of color. And the N-word starts flying around. Now, he starts it. The N-word. This happened, a year ago? Anyway, she was on trial today for using the N-word. It's a word that I hear in every song. I hear it on the street. I hear it everywhere. I don't say it. I don't want to say it. I don't have a need to say it. But if I did, should I be arrested for that? Listen to this. This is the moment in the playground. She became something of a folk hero. I didn't really get it at first. Now I kind of get it. Shiloh, you shouldn't have said the word. But then again, this guy's yelling it at your face. Who cares, right? She certainly shouldn't have been arrested for saying N-I whatever. You can't get arrested for that when someone's calling that to your face. Listen to this. Cut 16, please.
Did you call him a child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him a... Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging to your...
A little kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a...
Yeah.
The little child?
What, he acts like one is gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
That's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Well, they arrested her. Again, I don't like the N-word. I don't want to say the N-word, but that guy's saying the N-word like crazy. He's saying it all over the place. I hear any comedian who happens to be a certain color saying it all the time. Louis C.K., I notice he's white. He uses that word almost for shock value. Again, I don't like it. I don't think that, I don't know. I don't want to say it, but she said it, and I don't think she should be in jail for saying it. Her name, Shiloh Hendricks, and they had a trial. They had a trial. This happened in Rochester, Minnesota. So let's see here. A woman who called a black autistic child a racial slur last year has been found guilty of one count of disorderly conduct and not guilty of another. The incident, which occurred at a playground in Rochester in April of last year, was caught on video by a bystander and went viral. Well, that guy wasn't really a bystander. He seemed to be a participant. Shiloh Hendricks, 37, called a then 8-year-old boy the N-word after he allegedly reached into her diaper bag at Roy Sutherland Playground in Soldiers Field Park and took an item. She then began cussing at the bystander, who is black, hurling the N-word at him as well. I don't think he's black. I think he's South Asian, by the way. The incident prompted Rochester City Attorney Michael Spindrell Craig. Okay, right there. I can tell he's a liberal, right? Hey, look, again, I'm not... if you use the N-word, I think you're a jerk, and I think you're ignorant. I don't think you're a criminal. Let's see here. But, Michael Spindler Craig. What the hell kind of name is that? Is he married to a dude? Kind of like... who's the Manhattan Borough president? Hoylman Siegel. I personally don't care. I only know this because he won't stop talking about it. He also won't stop bringing his children to Drag Time Story Hour with the drag queens. How about that one? Okay, so they filed charges, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, one involving her words and behavior toward the child, and the other involving her words and behavior toward the man who videotaped the incident. Can I hear it one more time? Because I'm pretty sure that guy says the N-word first. Would you do that again?
The child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging through that little kid, you call him the little child? Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
That's a hate speech, and you can be recorded for that.
I don't give
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Oh, yeah. You're going to cyberbully her. Put her up and see what happens. And then this regular woman who's having a bad day, it sounds like some kid tried to steal stuff from her, goes, internationally global viral. Everybody knows everything about her. That guy was taunting her. I saw the video. I saw that when it came out. He's taunting her. He's following her. He's looking for trouble. He's a troublemaker. One of those other words that we never have we never talk about that anymore. Troublemaker. I remember I had an issue with a guy at work this was a long time ago, and, he was a troublemaker. I'm like, yeah, you're right, he is. And I just hadn't heard that word since, 1976. It used to be a thing, and it was frowned upon. Now everybody makes trouble wherever they go. All right, so she's found guilty related to her behavior toward the man who videotaped the confrontation. I just heard her. She sounded okay. Hendricks was sentenced immediately following the verdict, ordered to pay a $1,000 fine, placed on probation, and ordered to complete community service. She initially faced 90 days in jail, but will serve no jail time unless probation is broken. Her defense attorney said they're going to appeal the decision. I think it's pathetic, Brian Carula said. Good for him. I think it's sad. I'm shocked. Good for him. Sometimes they have to say, well, we respect the jury's decision. We are disappointed in it. In a statement, let's see, the Rochester City Attorney... Miss Hendricks, you should run for Congress, for crying out loud. Everybody needs to lighten up there. Don't say the N-word, but you can't get criminally prosecuted for saying the N-word. If you did that and you went to certain neighborhoods, half the country would be in prison. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I thought he did a pretty good job. I think it's pathetic, he said, following the ruling. I think it's sad. I'm shocked. In a statement Friday morning, the Rochester City Attorney acknowledged the verdict convicting Hendricks. What has made this incident so painful for many in our community? Ms. Hendricks fully admitted to her hateful and racist conduct. Let's see here, toward a child with a disability and others. She's not supposed to diagnose that kid instantaneously. What the hell does she know? I can't tell. She couldn't tell. Leave him alone. Leave her alone. I think this is awful. Let's see here. The jury deliberated for 9 hours. 9 hours after hearing closing arguments in the trial. Dragged on in fits and starts. Let's see here. All kinds of skirmishes between defense attorney and the prosecutor. It was like I was fighting the prosecutor and the judge, Karula said late in the evening outside the courthouse. It was like I'm taking on two parties at the same time, the judge and the prosecutor. It was very bizarre. He pointed to testimony from the boy's father, Cherie Jamel, law enforcement officials who interviewed Jamel, and the bystander video that he said painted a clear picture. Hendricks chased the boy after he took something from her bag. Hendricks called the boy the N-word, as well as the man who started videotaping the incident, and that Hendricks appeared angry and poised to become physically aggressive with the child. Well, poised, how do you ascertain poised, right? And poised and action, that's very, very different. Screaming at the child, her demeanor, her language, all speak to all of this. All of those are appropriate for your consideration. In his testimony, Jamil said his son has a history of running away and taking things that don't belong to him because he's autistic. As a result, the child wears a law enforcement-issued GPS tracker that helps police find the child when he runs off. During the trial, Karoulis argued that Hendricks' choice of using the N-word was a bad one, but there's a difference between something being morally wrong and something being illegal. Absolutely. Absolutely. The nature of this case, the fact that the government has decided to prosecute speech, that makes this anything but a typical disorderly conduct case. All right, it's being appealed. Shiloh Hendricks. Shiloh. Very attractive woman, by the way. And she looks even better in court. I saw her on a bad day when she was all haggard and, running around chasing a kid in a crummy playground. And she looked pretty good there. She looks great in the thing. Again, no N-word. No N-word should be uttered. But when it is uttered, as it unfortunately is pretty much every second of every day, certainly in this city by a lot of people, what are you going to do? What the hell are you supposed to do? You know who I really, really love these days? Elon Musk. When President Trump is done being president, I want Elon Musk. I guess he was born somewhere else, so he can't be president. We should figure something out about that, huh? This is Elon. And Elon stands for stuff that is not, it just makes sense. Did you know that Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, he says his child was stolen from him because of woke ideology, because of that woke crap, that woke and transgender nonsense. He is now a transgender, what would you say, daughter? It's a boy who wants to be a girl. And that doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. That's a societal contagion, manufactured, man-made. Cut 17, Elon, give her hell.
Environment, particularly on social media, fostered by the kinds of things you are pushing on X, actually helps this, makes it worse.
I don't think so. I think you're the problem, the media. And speaking of loathing, you're loathed far more than I am. And you don't seem to even realize that.
I think very few people know who I am relative to you, so I don't think I play in the same game.
The media collectively. So, I mean, you're hated. Do you even know that? You probably don't.
I like to think that I'm aware of my own personal shortcomings and the Economist's shortcomings and our worldview's shortcomings. Yeah. But what we stand for, as you know, is liberal values, traditional, classical liberal values, where we worry about concentrations of power and we believe in the individual and the dignity of the individual, and individual freedom.
Right. I agree with that.
Firmly believe that. And I have long thought that you were a classical liberal. But when I read what you post, classical liberal, J.S. Mill, limited government, individual freedom.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But when I read what you post on your feed, I sometimes wonder whether you really do believe in that.
I literally said, look, I believe in safe cities, secure borders, and sensible spending.
Got a problem with that, lady? That's basically MAGA for you. And they try to paint us off as right-wing extremists. Hey, James Flippin, long time no speak. How are you? Is he in?
Yeah, I thought maybe I was like barred from your show or something like that.
Well, you were on probation.
Oh, okay. I never received any correspondence in the mail, so I'm not happy about that. I would have at least liked to know.
Well, certainly you picked up my body language. Those nasty looks I would give you every day.
I did always pick up on that, yeah.
Good. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I'm only kidding. You're great. I just haven't, our schedules haven't been in sync. So, first of all, let's do this without any apology for being white. All right. What do we think of this Shiloh Hendricks and the N-word situation in Minnesota?
Well, I mean, I was listening to what you were saying about that, and I agree with you. I think that the N-word is ugly. I don't use it. I think that it's the kind of thing that really hurts people's feelings a lot of the time. But there's this whole weirdness surrounding it because there's also a different version of it that's used in hip hop, and kind of younger people use it like as bro or buddy or whatever, especially black people. And I just think that kind of muddies the water a little bit. Now, clearly, this woman, in her anger and frustration over the situation, that's not the context that she was using it in. But I also don't think it should amount to something criminal. Being rude or being nasty or being impolite. It doesn't really rise to that level. So, yeah, I was disheartened to see that she was convicted on, I guess, the one count, right, with the person who was taking the video.
Well, I also think we should cut her some slack because she's beautiful. Don't you think?
Okay.
It's not the kind of thing you would notice, huh? All right, I'm sorry. Hey,
I think she's attractive, yeah.
More importantly and seriously, the anti-Semitism in this city that is being encouraged, condoned, and I don't see all that much pushback. And I see the mayor almost literally about to get away with murder. I see that dopey police commissioner. Oh my God, should I say something? When should I say something? How should I say something? She's always worried about saying something. She doesn't seem to be able to do much of anything. I think she's finished. Absolutely terrible. Tish, right? Jessie as everybody calls her. Anyway, I never thought this could happen in New York. And Times Square, these maniacs running around saying awful things, and sometimes in Arabic, and Jewish people being harassed for being Jewish. It's a very sad, terrible moment, and we gotta do something. Well, something must be done. I don't know what the hell it is. Do we fight back? Do you have patrols out there? Because too often the police seem inhibited. What do you think? We're doing something, man.
Well, I definitely think it's a situation that needs urgent action. And I, like you, I'm not really entirely sure what the answer is, but definitely talking about it and making it a point of focus needs to be done because the situation's increasingly violent in its rhetoric, and it's sort of ostensibly supposed to be some sort of anti-Israel thing, but we know that it goes deeper than that. The farthest reaches of it when it comes from the left is this sort of anti-capitalism thing and this perception that Jewish people are successful at it and real estate and landlords and all this kind of thing. And it's very communist.
You know why? They work their asses off.
Right.
They work their asses off.
But as Marco Rubio made that point, the left is sort of a regressive thing about tearing down people who are successful.
And that's how the Holocaust started. A lot of the Holocaust was resentment about how successful the Jews were in Europe. Mm-hmm. So this is really ugly.
And underscored by a cost of living or economic crisis, right? Because the post-World War I reality for Germany. and people saying, well, how could you not sympathize with those conditions and that kind of thing? And now they're trying to say that there's so many people who are, I mean, it's ridiculous, but they say that the standard of living is so eroded in the West or whatever, and people can't do this and that.
People never had it so good.
Right.
We got Netflix, we got air conditioning. It's great over here. Hey, I want to do one other thing here. Stand by there, James. I don't know if you saw what I did. I made a video about this. ABC Fake News profiled a 3-year-old girl who goes out to get food for her family in Gaza. All right, listen to this here. Cut 5.
Armed with a pot the size of her head, 3-year-old Wad Qasim walks a now familiar route.
Beautiful little 3-year-old girl. 3-year-old girl. Did you hear that? A pot with the size of her head. She's got a great big pot. And she's walking. She's walking. Listen to, she walks to like the food bank, okay, where there are about 100 people. Cut 7.
This scene still common in Gaza, even 9 months after the U.S. brokered a ceasefire.
And there's all kinds of pushing and shoving, okay? But she gets food. She gets a big pot of food. And listen to this. Cut 8.
Wad becomes lost in the crowd despite her efforts. Our producer intervenes on the ground, and a worker, out of compassion, gave food to Wad. She successfully secured a meal for her family, bringing back home a pot full of stew to her relatives. 12 of them live here in this tent.
Okay, so what you can't see is this little 3-year-old beautiful girl. She's 3. She's not big for her age, okay? She is a 3-year-old little tyke. And she walks a mile down to the food bank and a mile back with this ridiculously big pot. And she puts it down in front of her mother, who's about 45 and fat, the 2 sisters, who are about 14, and they start eating. But they sent the 3-year-old to get the food. You see the absurdity of it all, right? You see, and people watch this stuff. We're done thinking critically for whatever reason. People don't even notice this. I noticed it. Now it's taking off with the viral. Isn't that funny? Kind of. I mean, you're not supposed to laugh in the middle of such a story, but it's laugh out loud funny. They sent that 3-year-old girl.
Yeah, I mean, that's just. I mean, as you noted, why couldn't the teenagers go and get it? That just doesn't make any sense.
People just take it. Oh. Especially when it comes from the news.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who it came from? Lindsay Davis, the it girl. The it girl, Lindsay Davis. You know which one she is?
I do, yeah. I remember bumping into her at the RNC a couple years ago.
Is she attractive in person?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
I
don't know if she's any Shiloh Hendricks, but
listen to this. Here she is being mean to President Trump at the debate. Cut 4.
For 52 years, they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. Each individual state is voting. It's the vote of the people now. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
You know, one of those instant fact checks. Fact check. I'm going to fact check the president there. She's a snob, and she anchors that show, Lindsay Davis. But she is attractive. Happens to be a person of color, which is very, very hot over there at ABC News and Disney. All right, so how you doing otherwise? Good?
Yeah, everything's pretty good. It's a beautiful day in the city, which is nice. We're finally going to have a dry weekend. So, looking forward to some time outdoors.
What the hell are you going to do outside?
Yard work. I got a lot of bark to clean up.
Are you serious? You're too young for that stuff.
What does that mean?
It means that's like, that would wait until you're retired.
When you're retired, your knees and your back, you're like, oh, I'm going to just hire somebody to do it.
Yard work.
And I like landscaping. It's relaxing.
I'd rather go to an algebra seminar. I'd rather go back to the
Well, that's
grade.
the difference between you and I certainly would not. I can't stand
Knock
algebra.
yourself out, man. He's going to be gardening this weekend. All right, James Flippin, we love
Thank
you.
you, Greg.
Finally, what the hell's the deal with LeBron James? What should I know?
Oh, well, I mean, he's going to Philadelphia, so he signed a 2-year contract to join the 76ers, and they're definitely one of the top teams in the East now. And even though he's over the age of 40, he's still an effective player. So he's going to boost their chances down there in the city of brotherly love.
Is it a money thing? Why did he make the move? Why is he making the move?
I guess he feels as though the Los Angeles Lakers had sort of, not given him enough of a chance to win another championship, and he wanted to check out another destination.
All right.
So that's where he's going, Philadelphia.
Was he obnoxious about it like the last time?
He did drag it out some. Like even the NBA commissioner was like, "Come on, let's go here," because he's enough of a draw that they waited to set the schedule until they knew where he was going to go.
You're going to take your talents to
correct.
Philly.
Yes, to Broad Street.
It's pretty close to New York, so he may show up here. Yeah. I do not like him.
Well, and that's a rivalry still, the 76ers and the Knicks, and obviously the Knicks are the defending champions, so it could set up a big playoff series for sure.
Well, I'm not talking about the basketball. I'm talking about he's anti-cop.
Mm-hmm.
He's always tweeting leftist stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a little bit of a racist.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
right.
I think that's fair. I don't know him, but it seems that way.
But he's been one hell of a basketball player.
Yes,
all right. James Flippin.
Thanks,
thank
Greg.
you, sir.
Have a good weekend.
Continued. Enjoy. 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. Hoping you have a more interesting weekend than him. Be right back.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats.
These files were made up.
It's all the same scam. They could look at this Jeffrey Epstein hoax also, because that's the same stuff. That's all put out by Democrats. It was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats.
You know, sometimes President Trump speaks in hyperbole, right? And but it is truthful hyperbole. It's always surrounded in truth. However, this is literally quite true. He's talking about Epstein. It is a hoax. It is a hoax. From beginning to end, everything you've heard about it is fake. 1,000%. Oh, my goodness. It's really wild. It's almost shocking. I have shown people this, and people are checking out my videos and whatnot. You're about to hear the voice of Shantae Davis. You may remember her standing next to Marjorie Taylor Greene and all the survivors on Capitol Hill, right? And she tells her story about what happened with her and Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, my goodness gracious. The worst thing in the world. Cut 13, please. Cut 13.
A person I trusted, someone I thought was a friend, invited me to meet a powerful woman who could help advance my career. That woman happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell. I was asked to give her a massage, though I had almost no experience, and when I did, she praised me and promised introductions to someone enormously powerful, someone who could change the course of my life, and that man was Jeffrey Epstein. At first, I was an excited young woman on top of the world. Epstein flew me to his private island. He listened to my dreams, promised to help, but his promises came with a catch. The abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with quid pro quo I did not consent to, but I felt I had no one to turn to. He was too powerful.
He was too powerful. I'm trying to put myself in this position, right? If I met somebody and they said, give me a massage and I'm going to introduce you. Let's say it's a woman and she's going to make everything happen for you. And then it would take me about 5 seconds to figure out whether it was legit or not, And if I found out it was legit and she was going to make me do things against my will, I mean, that's a very hard scenario to really imagine. But I would have called the cops. That woman, Shantae Davis, was 22 years old when all this went down. When she met Ghislaine and Jeffrey, 22. I was a college graduate. I was in the United States Marine Corps, an officer when I was 22 years old. And she's like this wispy little thing. And here she is admitting it. I mean, they never talk about their age. But in 2015, on Inside Edition with Jim Moret, a great entertainment journalist, if you guys remember him, Jim Moret, used to be on CNN. Listen to this. Cut 14.
When Shantae was hired, she was a struggling 22-year-old actress.
22.
She once played a lingerie model in a movie called Exposed.
These designs are really great.
Shantae worked as a masseuse, but says she never had sex with Epstein.
Did you ever think that maybe more was going on than simple massages?
Looking back, of course.
Was there a bed on the airplane?
Actually, yes, there was, yeah.
On one memorable flight on board a plane like this provided by Air Hollywood, She says she made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for passengers, including Oscar winner Kevin Spacey, actor Chris Tucker, and even Bill Clinton. They were all flying to Africa on a humanitarian mission, and Jeffrey Epstein had given them the use of his jet.
So you never gave President Clinton a massage?
No, I didn't.
Shantae says when the plane landed in Africa, Clinton took her shopping, but she says nothing improper occurred.
So what do we believe? That or the Capitol Hill sob story? Cut 13 one more time.
A person I trusted, someone I thought was a friend, invited me to meet a powerful woman who could help advance my career. That woman happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell. I was asked to give her a massage, though I had almost no experience, and when I did, she praised me and promised introductions to someone enormously powerful, someone who could change the course of my life, and that man was Jeffrey Epstein. At first, I was an excited young woman on top of the world. Epstein flew me to his private island. He listened to my dreams, promised to help, but his promises came with a catch. The abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with quid pro quo I did not consent to, but I felt I had no one to turn to. He was too powerful.
He manipulated me with quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. It's a hoax. You know, child sex trafficking is the worst thing in the world, but this is not that. It's not what they told us. Hey, by the way, sexual abuse is horrible too, no matter what your age, right? But what these women are alleging, it's a money grab, and it's an attempt to besmirch MAGA and Trump and distract from all the amazing things Trump is doing. It's really, really wild, isn't it? When you heard, are you a little bit surprised? You got to be a little bit surprised to find out that the victims were all adult women, for crying out loud. 800-848-9222, 800-848-9222 on this glorious Friday. Be right back.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?